Good morning, my friends. Today we are doing grammar lesson 8.5 on adverb clauses. Now remember, a clause is something that has a subject and a predicate and can either be independent or dependent. In this case, for adverb clauses, we are going to be discussing dependent clauses that are acting like adverbs. So what does it mean that it's acting like an adverb? That means it's describing or giving more information about a verb, adjective, or adverb in the sentence. So what does it mean when I say describing? That means it's going to tell us where something is happening or when something is happening, why something is happening, in what way something happens, to what extent something happens, or under what conditions something happens. So those are the questions you're looking to answer with these adverb phrases. So let's look at our first example. Wherever they went, King Arthur's knights helped the weak and the poor. So in this case, wherever they went, that adverb phrase is describing the verb helped. It's telling us where that action, where that helping takes place. Wherever they went is when they helped. The second example, because settlers took over their habitats, mountain lions disappeared. So in this case, the adverb clause is because settlers took over their habitats, and it's telling us why the mountain lions disappeared. So that means it is describing the verb disappeared. Okay, so you can see that those questions are always answered where, when, why, using those adverb clauses. Now, anytime you have an adverb clause, it's going to start with a subordinate conjunction. So we talked about this briefly when we were talking about the adjective clauses, because every once in a while an adjective clause will use a subordinate conjunction, but adverb clauses always start with a subordinate conjunction. So this list gives you most of the common ones, definitely the ones that we are using in our lessons. So look this list over, get familiar with them, and use it when you're doing your practice and when you're doing your test. So common ones: because, before, then, though, unless, wherever, whenever, and so on. So like I said, get very familiar with this list. It's going to help you find those adverb clauses. So just a few reminders, because that's basically summing up adverb clauses. Remember that for an adverb clause, it can come before or after the independent clause. Okay. If you remember our adjective clauses, they would follow what they were talking about. But in this case, the adverb clause is going to come either before or after. If it does come at the beginning of the sentence, it's going to usually be followed by a comma. And I really want you to get familiar with that list of subordinate conjunctions, because that's what's going to help you find these adverb clauses. So let's look at these examples down here and practice just a little bit. No one knows Arthur's fate after he disappeared in the mist. So if I look at my list, I should be able to see the word after and go, okay, after he disappeared into the mist. That should be my adverb clause. But let's check it. If I get rid of that, does the rest of the sentence still make sense? No one knows Arthur's fate. Is that a complete sentence? Yes, it is. So that tells me that after he disappeared into the mist, because that is not a complete sentence, and it starts with a subordinate conjunction, that tells me that that is the adverb clause. The second sentence, even though the ending was unclear, Arthur's values live on. So my first clue is the word even. Even is, even though is a subordinate conjunction. So that should be my first clue that I've got my clause here. But let's check the rest of the sentence. Arthur's values live on. Is that a complete sentence? Yes, it is. It can stand alone. But even though the ending was unclear, is that a complete sentence? No, it is not. It can't stand alone. So that has to be my adverb clause. And my next example, as long as its habitat keeps getting smaller, the panther may become extinct. So I'm looking for that subordinate conjunction. And in this case, it's as long as. There's a subordinate conjunction. I check the rest of the sentence. The panther may become extinct can stand alone. So I know that as long as its habitat keeps getting smaller is my adverb clause. And the last example, many cats have been fitted with collars in order that experts can track them. So subordinate clause in this one is in order that. And then I get rid of that clause. Does the rest of the sentence make sense? Many cats have been fitted with collars. Yes, it does. Can I get rid of that whole clause? I can. In order that experts can track them cannot stand alone. So I know that that is the dependent clause, and I've found my adverb clause. I hope that helps. Please, please, please use the list of subordinate conjunctions when you are looking for these adverb clauses while you are practicing today, and keep it in your Ellen for when you take the test. Have a great day.